head of business development for loyalty within Visa Europe. Interchange was cut massively, which means that theoretically banks have got less money to spend on loyalty. So how is loyalty progressing within financial services?
You might argue with higher interchange rates historically, companies could afford to be perhaps a little lazy with their customer propositions. They could give away points at certain rates to engender the behaviour they were looking for. I think now we're perhaps in a more competitive, level playing field environment, so people need to be more creative in terms of the solutions they bring to market and look for different ways to bring value to consumers. Within Visa, we have a focus on things like card-linked offers, which provide value to consumers in different ways when they shop at certain retailers, whether it's cashback or points and things like that. So I think there are a lot of other opportunities now that payment can help facilitate, enable other ways to earn and achieve loyalty.
And I think a payment network service provider is really in an ideal position to be able to help the merchants engage better with their customers without having to touch all the technology on their point of sales, be able to spot the transactions in the network and automatically issue the loyalty currency that the customer wants. And in most cases, I think the merchant probably is quite happy to fund those points because they've got the engagement with the customer.
ASOS this week announced brilliant end-of-year figures and at the same time said it was cancelling its 2.5-year-old loyalty programme. And what it will be doing instead is asking customers to take part in a subscription for free delivery and returns of items. Is the subscription model, this is a real take on Amazon Prime. It's a complete copy. But is that sustainable? Because we were talking and counting up how many subscriptions we've both got, and it's quite a lot. And there comes a time, doesn't there, when you think, I can do without that one, I can do without that one, I can't afford that one. So then the loyalty's gone, isn't it? Now, so the big guy, Loyalty Prime, survives. Can lots of other subscription models survive as well? What do you think, Dan?
The key point here is it a proposition that is delivering a good perceived value and actually a good real value, tangible value? And I think the case with Amazon, I think that's true. I think in other sectors, perhaps where the proposition is narrower, as in it's free delivery, what else can it be? What other value? Am I getting access to previews of product? Am I getting access to benefits that perhaps not everybody gets? I think you need to build that proposition out from just a single point of benefit.
Yeah, I think the subscription model makes sense in certain instances. In the US, about a year ago, unlimited movie subscription was launched, and then about 3 weeks ago they cut it back to 6 movies a month. Last week, a ride-sharing service in the United States said for $300 a month, you can have unlimited, shuttle rides, around your area. I don't know if they're going to allow someone to drive from Chicago to Nebraska, but I think people will self-select themselves to participate in the subscription. And so if I'm a heavy user, I'm going to pay the subscription and benefit.
Well, I think it's a far bigger thing than that. I think that there's 3 big levers, there's 3 big variables going on here in a subscription, in any service. There's utility, is it useful? There's then entertainment, is it entertaining? And then there's transactions. And I think the loyalty market in particular has failed by being obsessed with the transaction. We talk about a subscription service, subscriptions and transactions. Whereas actually, in order to win the game here, you have to have utility first. Reason why people use Netflix is it's a good service, and it learns what I want. I've been on Netflix for a while now. I go in there and I've got things that I want to watch. But if I go on my daughter's Netflix, I think it's rubbish service because I just think, why would I watch any of this rubbish? Whereas I think, and if you take apps for example, I can name some loyalty apps that are so obsessed with transactions and driving transactions, they forget that an app, you're in the entertainment service. You're in the entertainment business on an app, not the transaction service. And if you take 2 apps, for example, say the Virgin Red app compared to say the Nectar app, is The one has they're both trying to do the same thing, but one's entertainment in the entertainment business, and one's in the transaction business, and one has far more transactions per customer than the other, and it's perhaps not the one with the biggest volume behind it.
Have merchants ruined the whole loyalty proposition by reducing the value of points?
You know, a one-size-fits-all approach for loyalty, I think you're right, you probably won't find enough value for everybody in a program like that. And certainly the trend is to develop, you know, more personalised programs.
The original, loyalty coalition model was built around a strong technology and marketing organization in the middle that assembled a bunch of brands into a coalition. And because no one brand arguably could do that by themselves, but in order to generate a return on investment, they had to charge fairly high fees. And so you'd see 30 to 40, 50% of the value extracted out of the loyalty ecosystem to cover the operating cost and profit of this intermediary. But the next evolution of coalition loyalty is going to be more of a peer-to-peer network with a very low-cost technology platform that helps bridge different brands together into common coalitions.
And I think on the technology, if you're a CTO sitting from a big loyalty company, well, if you're a CTO from a new startup in loyalty and a CTO from an existing loyalty company, you've got two completely different challenges. A CTO from a new startup can virtually look through his tech stack, choose all his different technologies, be up and running fast, do some really funky things, and be doing some fantastic stuff quickly. If you're a CTO from an existing loyalty company with a huge tech stack, you're looking at millions of pounds to change what's in there, just because of all the technologies that are interchanged, all the legacy systems.
In fact, we have a competitor that charges 15 to 20% margin on most of the loyalty transactions they do. We charge 2%. They cannot come down below 10% because they built their business model around all these support services and people and technology that needs to be maintained. They're prisoners to their choices made 10 or 15 years ago. Whereas a brand today that wants to take a fresh stab at opening up their loyalty program can add very flexible modern technology in front of their existing system.